By now, most everyone in the St. Louis area has a cicada story. But what about their story?
They emerge from the ground. They take about 5 days to harden, and then males start singing, and a little while later, females will start responding. And in the beginning, females are picky about who they respond to. They're not going to wing flick to just any male. But when they get old, then they don't really care. When you get old enough, it's like, well, I need to just mate with whomever comes by. And the call, when you have such a dense population like that, has sort of 3 different types of noise in it. There's sort of this whooshing noise, and then you can hear the chorusing, and then you can also hear individual cicadas, and it's just this really magical sound.
The cicada song has climbed to #1 on the charts, at least in the Fowler-Finn Lab. Kasey Fowler-Finn is an associate professor of biology at St. Louis University.
We study how animals communicate with one another in a changing world.
She says a cicada is like a musical instrument.
The wing flick is just like a really quiet snap, and you can see the female flick her wings. The males are actually mostly hollow in their body. In their abdomen, they have muscles to produce the vibrations necessary to create the sound. And then they have basically a bunch of air, and that, as a package, allows them to magnify, to amplify their sound.
What may be a magical symphony for Fowler-Finn could be like a loud concert for others. Their loud mating call can reach up to 100 decibels. In the St. Louis area, cicada communications have not been this loud in
221 years. We have 2 broods that are emerging adjacent to one another. And that only happens in this region every 221 years. So the last time these 2 broods came out was in 1803.
Altogether, trillions emerge in this rare double brood event.
Interestingly, the individual cicadas are actually quite quiet.
The Fowler-Finn Lab is investigating this phenomenon.
So this is the first year that we've ever studied cicadas. And there's some stuff that we've discovered that I'm not going to talk about because it's could be a big deal.
But also, the researchers are investigating how cicadas are possibly interfering with the communications of other insects. Even when the cicadas are silent, the human ear still can't hear the real insect world around us.
We hear less than 5% of what insects are saying to one another. Insects are singing underwater, and insects are singing using plants as their communication channel, and they're using the soil, and they're talking in ways that we don't have the sensory organs to tap into those.
The latest technology can now intercept insect communications.
They sound like whales and frogs and birds, and it's just truly this phenomenal soundscape.
Cicadas aside, the insect world seems to be incredibly loud.
And we're really a minority. Insects are hugely outnumber us in biomass and in numbers.
But with the interference of this kind of volume for hours on end, in the same way that humans retreat from the noise, are insects also not even trying?
Yeah, it's like if you walk into a bar and everyone's talking at once, you're probably going to stop your conversation with the person that you're next to because you're not going to be able to hear each other, and you might wait for a lull in the conversation, or you might step outside or wait till the bar clears out to have a better conversation. So we're basically testing that same phenomenon, but with insects in the field, and the bar is the cicadas.
The researchers are collecting data from different sites in the St. Louis area to find the answers.
We don't know the answer, and that's really exciting. We have some potential hypotheses for what could happen, and we've designed our study to test each of those really well, and we're recording airborne and substrate-borne sound before, during, and after the emergence. And so I think we're going to find something interesting.
Meanwhile, this annoyance that people may have that even other insects may be affected by is at least short-lived. But Fowler-Finn is cherishing the little time that remains.
We'll get the 13-year cicadas in 13 years. We'll get the 17-year cicadas, over in Illinois in 17 years. But the 2 of them together won't happen for another 221 years.